Okay, I think I will start. My name is Laura Karamonica, and I am the program chair for the Association for Leadership in the Science of Nursing. ASLN is an international association dedicated to uniting academic and service leaders to shape leadership science and education in nursing. Today, I have the pleasure of introducing our key speaker, who is Dr. Deborah Sykes. She is the Associate Professor and Director of the Veterans Education Initiatives for Non-Traditional Undergraduate Programs at Texas Tech University Health Sciences Center in Texas. Dr. Sykes has published on numerous articles on veteran-related students and also has presented locally, nationally, and internationally at conferences on this subject. She has held several positions of leadership, including president and treasurer of Sigma Theta Tau International Honor Society for Nursing. She is also on the nominations committee for the Texas League for Nursing and a historian for Military and Veterans National Alumni Network of Texas Tech University. There is no conflict of interest for anyone, for this activity. And this activity has been approved by the California Board of Registered Nurses for 1 nursing contact hour. Please hold on to this document for about 4 years. All participants will receive their certificate of attendance once you complete the seminar. There will be access to a survey link that will be sent to you, and then you just complete that link. So now I'm going to turn the slides over to Dr. Sykes.
Thank you so much. So the title of my presentation is Expanding the Path, or Prospect Admissions, Training, and Honors for Student Veterans in Nursing. Upon completion of this program, learners will be able to describe 3 veteran-centered teaching strategies used in a successful veteran to BSN track, discuss 3 benefits of increased veteran-specific education partnerships, and identify 3 pathways to expand academic service partnerships. Diversity is important to the nursing profession to effectively care for our various groups of patients. In 2020, nearly 5 million veterans left the military. These distinct veterans, 89% men and 11% women, have already been provided initial education and exposed to multiple field experiences, some with combat exposure. The percentage of non-Hispanic white veterans is expected to decrease over the next 20 years, with anticipated increases in Black 13 to 15% and Hispanic 8 to 16%. In order to accomplish better diversity, clinical experiences, and leadership opportunities, while also capitalizing on their previous health and leadership military skills, academic service partnerships will be important to provide clear veteran-centered teaching goals and services for these student veterans. So a little bit of background here. In 2013, the Health Resources Services Administration, HRSA, began issuing Nurse Education Practice, Quality, and Retention, or NEPQR grants to increase enrollment of veterans in Bachelor of Science in Nursing, or VBSN degree programs. Between 2013 and 2019, 31 schools across the U.S. received HRSA NEPQR VBSN grants to increase enrollment, progression, and graduation rates among student veterans. In 2019, 11 schools received no-cost extensions for ongoing support of VBSN programs. Now, here are the people that attend these programs. In 2018, we had over 660,000 student veterans enrolled in higher education. And these individuals were using their higher education, veterans education benefits. The post 9/11 government issue, or GI Bill, payments are used to pay for tuition and fees, books, and monthly housing allowances. And with an influx of these veterans in both higher education and in the healthcare system, nursing curriculum needs to provide veteran-centered care approaches. So since 2016, One Texas School has graduated 110 student veterans with prior military healthcare education and experiences through the VBSN track. Students in the VBSN track represent increases in gender, race, and ethnic diversity in nursing programs. Today, we will discuss why it is important to further expand educational opportunities for student veterans by developing new academic service partnerships with the Veterans Administration and university medical centers. In order to accomplish these new academic service partnerships, or ASPs, the overall goals are to create new relationships between nursing schools and Veterans Administration facilities to support opportunities for veterans with military healthcare experiences to expand upon their military careers through professional nursing roles. We also need to expand opportunities for nursing students and faculty to acquire veteran-centered care competencies to inform care for over 20.3 million veterans across the U.S., of which only 6.2 million seek care in VA facilities. With their military background, student veterans who understand military culture and ethos are uniquely prepared to relate to veterans seeking healthcare in VA facilities. VA facilities include opportunities for advancement, including internships and the Pathways recent graduate program. So, developing new academic service partnerships with the VA and university medical centers include student veterans increasing opportunities to meet the AACN College of Nursing values of diversity, equity, and inclusion. Military veterans include a diverse population of individuals with varied life experiences, perspectives, and backgrounds. Equity is achieved by recognizing the differences in resources and knowledge that military veterans may bring to higher education, giving administrators an opportunity to help veterans overcome any obstacles to be successful. Inclusion is addressed by developing policies and procedures to understand different cultures and needs of individual students and patients from diverse backgrounds, including military veterans. According to the VA Nursing Academic Partnerships Office of Academic Affiliations, 18 partnerships currently exist between the VA and nursing schools. In spring 2021, One School of Nursing was contacted to discuss the development of a new VBSN program in partnership with the VA system. The overarching goal of the proposed partnership is to train military veterans in nursing to provide future nursing in the VA healthcare system. As new academic service partnerships are considered, it's important to identify and garner support from key stakeholders. Institutional support is required beginning with administrators who value the contributions of veterans and military service members. Faculty and staff must support the transitioning veterans. A Veterans Liaison and Veterans Resource Center provide central points of contact as well as a one-stop shop for veterans to understand the nuances of higher education and receive military education advice and support. Within the VA, administrators are also key in building new partnerships. Directors and nursing leadership must support affiliation agreements and allow time for staff nurses to assist with mentoring student nurses. Ultimately, the key stakeholders are veterans, including student nurses and those receiving healthcare at VA facilities. The Veterans Health Administration is the largest integrated health system in the U.S., with nearly 1,300 healthcare facilities, including 171 medical centers and over 1,100 outpatient sites. This system provides care for 9 million veterans each year. According to the VA Secretary McDonough, in a report released on March 2022, the VA strives to increase access to healthcare facilities across the country to serve underserved and at-risk veterans. The goal is to do what's best for veterans. This includes communication with VA employees union partners, state partners, and VA service organizations. Strong academic service partnerships are needed to continue to advance the VA's goal to serve veterans. So in addition to VA hospitals, the VA facilities include community-based outpatient clinics, healthcare centers, outpatient services, multi-specialty community-based outpatient clinics, primary care, and residential rehab treatment programs. Infusing veteran-centered care in nursing education curricula and providing faculty development to include veteran-centered teaching skills for student veterans will enhance new ASPs. Clinical opportunities in the new ASP settings, including ICU and advanced practice educational opportunities with expedited pathways, are encouraged in the new ASPs. So let's talk a little bit about our particular program and how this has worked for us. The accelerated BSN program at Texas Tech University Health Sciences Center offers a veteran to BSN track for eligible military service members. The program is offered to veterans who received healthcare training while serving in the military. The program is completed over 12 months, and we use a coach model, which allows our students to train with the same nurse for the majority of their clinical training experiences, building a rapport with the nursing staff on one unit within the healthcare facility. This allows students to be acclimated to unit processes, policies, and procedures over the course of their education, establishing a direct pathway for future employment, requiring less orientation if hired upon graduation. This program includes opportunities to complete clinical training at one of 7 different clinical sites across the state of Texas. One of the new unique components of the program is the option for our VBSN students to receive academic credit for knowledge gained while serving in the military. Students are required to demonstrate competency and can be awarded up to 13 credit hours within the nursing curriculum. Veteran-specific courses, or we call them Competency Assessment Placement, CAP courses, are options to award credit for competencies gained in military service. And academic credit may also be awarded for military courses deemed equivalent to meet academic requirements. As we discussed how to develop new academic service partnerships with VA partners, it's important to understand what veterans and military students need to be successful in higher education. The U.S. Department of Education provides guidance for student veterans' success in 8 keys to veteran success. The first recommendation is to support veterans from their first contact with the school through graduation and beyond. Schools must create a culture of trust and connectedness on campus. And our central point of contact is our veteran liaison, who provides these students with a consistent voice in the recruitment process and all the way through their graduation and beyond. The veterans liaison, and you can see him here, this is Kyle. He recruits potential students at our military installations at education fairs. As a veteran himself, he is well aware of the challenges student veterans may encounter when trying to complete prerequisites and require transcripts from potentially multiple universities. A self-evaluation is completed online as these prospective students work with Kyle to prepare their applications. The admissions process is supported by individual emails, phone calls, and live webinars. The Veterans Liaison and admissions staff personnel schedule individual and group meetings to ensure entering veterans understand all the requirements and prerequisites needed to enter the program. Military and veteran status are considered when applying for and being admitted to the program, which is supported by institutional policies and procedures. For instance, we have a policy, our military policy. So if a student is deployed or activated to military service, then there are policies in place to support them to be able to return to school once they've been deployed. Our Veterans Resource Center is the contact for the school certifying official who guides veterans and military students to access and receive their military education benefits. Additionally, they have an option for vet-to-vet mentoring, and they can now access all of that through our Veterans Resource Center. Financial support is provided by guiding students to apply for federal funds and scholarships, which are designated specifically to support our student veterans. So while they're in the program, while they're in training, the requirements that they are given special considerations also. The VBSN students are not required to have completed a previous degree in order to enroll in our program. What they do have to do is have a specific number of prerequisite hours, but they do not have a previous degree as our second degree students in the same program. Then in addition, the academic support, if they need tutoring services, they are available. And these tutoring services are secured by applying for services through our Student Success Coordinator. And then it's further supported by our Veterans Resource Center. So they can use some of their military education benefits to pay for some of their tutoring if they qualify. And so we do have that available for them as well. And we have some veteran-specific courses, which includes, again, we talked about it previously, the Competency Assessment Placement or CAP Battery. And again, they have an opportunity to actually have academic credits in the nursing program based upon their performance on these tests. Academic credit may also be awarded based upon their military transcript evaluations of their military courses, which meet the equivalent academic requirements. One specific course for which we often give them credit is pharmacology, depending on when they took it within their program. Male and female veterans may experience multiple stressors when entering higher education. And one of the things that's really important for us to understand is how to support them. So as you can see on the slide, they may face challenges related to interpersonal or financial, social, physical and psychological, work and family, as well as administrative challenges. They may experience traumatic brain injury, military sexual trauma or PTSD, musculoskeletal injuries, hearing loss, and chemical exposures. They often face economic concerns in providing for their families while they're going to school. Many student veterans continue serving in the reserves and National Guard. And again, they may be deployed or have required military service. And multiple deployments may strain those family relationships and interrupt their schooling as well. So one thing I wanted to bring out here a little bit is that the number of female veterans that we have now, it's 10% of our population are female women veterans. So this is 12.3% of all the veterans who served in Operation Enduring Freedom or Operation Iraqi Freedom, Operation New Dawn campaigns. So nearly a third of these women veterans, when they're screened, they respond positively to having experienced military sexual trauma. The average age of women veterans in 2017 was 51. It's much younger than the males that are veterans at age 65. And the use of VA by women veterans includes many younger childbearing women, ages 18 to 44, a total of 43% of them, with 46% of women using the VA facilities ranging from the age of 45 to 64, and only 12% are age 65 and older. So women veterans may have complex health issues related to military service, including sexual trauma or PTSD. And therefore, it's important while they're in school that we are aware of these concerns and also that we provide frequent assessments for them. And faculty and staff are encouraged to complete Green Zone training to increase understanding and awareness of unique challenges and concerns of student veterans. All faculty and staff who conduct interviews for VBSN applicants are required to complete Green Zone training prior to participating in interviews. Being sensitive to the student veterans' needs and having access to resources to assist them is critical to student veterans' success. So one of the benefits that we are going to talk about is diversity. Males in the VBSN track are represented at much higher percentages compared to all the other undergraduate nursing programs at our institution. You can see from this slide here that males were represented between 40 and 75% consistently in our VBSN track. And that's the red column there, if you see for each of these for the years, but the percentages are much higher for males in that particular track. The percentage of non-Hispanic white veterans is expected to decrease over the next 20 years. And again, we expect to have an increase of more diverse individuals from different ethnic and racial backgrounds. According to the NLN, the minority populations from diverse, underrepresented backgrounds are needed to improve the overall health of our nation. Individuals from underrepresented populations serving as nurses, such as our military veterans, increase the acceptability of services from those from similar backgrounds. An additional benefit is improving equity for the nursing workforce. Equity is described as expanding the pool of applicants who have prospects for success. And you can see from this slide that the prospects for success for our veterans include leadership experiences, a demonstrated ability to overcome obstacles, and they have many transferable skills and abilities, and the prior life experiences that they often have are very rich in developing their potential for becoming wonderful nurses. Military service gain many experiences which promote their prospects for success in nursing school. Including military veterans in the future nursing workforce will benefit the nursing profession by increasing the number of nurses who are veterans available to serve other veterans. Our society includes over 9 million veterans enrolled in the VA who've served in various capacities in the military. Combat injuries incurred during military service affect both men and women. In a 2019 report, it was estimated that the VA had 33,000 job vacancies, many of which could be filled by including academic service partnerships with schools of nursing to meet nursing demands. So honoring our military service members is one way to provide distinction and recognition of the sacrifices made for the benefit of our society. While attending school, student veterans in the VBSN track are provided a unique patch to wear on their uniform. And in 2021, an additional military service patch was designated for any veteran, regardless of their track, to wear on their uniform to allow recognition of their military service. Students may also receive a university military ID card while they're in school. Upon completing our program, veterans are recognized at graduation ceremonies by wearing a military stole. When diplomas are received, our VBSN students also receive a military challenge coin, which was designed specifically just for them. These honors are bestowed to distinguished veterans and current military service men and women. A distinction earned by our university for dedication to serving military members is recognition as a military-friendly top 10 school. For 22-23, TTUHSC was awarded a gold distinction, the highest award provided. So overall, the benefits gained by increasing academic service partnerships between the VA and medical centers and nursing schools, it's a win-win for everyone. Schools of nursing may expand clinical partners, diversify learning opportunities, and increase veteran-centered care opportunities. VA partners will expand their current applicant pools by leveraging veterans' training and skills, and increasing patient satisfaction as veterans provide care for veterans. Student veterans are provided opportunities to transfer that knowledge and skill gained in the military to the nursing profession. Veterans are mature adults, frequently first-generation college students with vast experiences. The nursing profession meets the AACN recommendations to increase diversity, equity, and inclusion in the nursing workforce when we educate our student veterans. So this slide, I'm going to just kind of give you a little breakdown of what one of our current VBSN alumni stated. We did a study from alumni between 2016 and 2020. And this is what the student had to say. The program will push you. It's a different sort of mental engagement. Our training and military experiences will help. We never quit. We are trained and proficient. It's an amazing path. Today, I'm an emergency room supervisor. That's the key right there. The success is that this student graduated, and another student stated or alumni stated in this same survey that right out of graduation, I worked in the ICU, and then COVID hit. I worked in the COVID ICU for 1 year before transitioning as a nurse case manager. This individual was deployed with the Air Force to New York to assist the COVID crisis. With 110 successful VBSN graduates from 2016 to 2021, and we currently have 29 VBSN students enrolled in this program, I would say that this is a successful program for our VBSN students. And it is we want to demonstrate that the effectiveness of academic service partnerships, it could be strengthened if we had additional opportunities to provide educational opportunities for these students within our VA facilities across the nation. So one other VBSN alumni that I wanted to share with you is Ronald Holliday, and this was posted on our Facebook page recently. He stated, military training prepared me for nursing school through patient care hours on and off the battlefield. Skills included in the military that assisted with patient care consisted of IV therapy, medication administration, trauma resuscitation, triage on the battlefield, and relaying patient reports to the hospital. Prior to nursing school, the Army assisted with tuition for paramedic school to further my education. The TTU HSC VBSN program bestowed a great deal of working knowledge throughout the program that assisted my orientation to my new organization. The professors throughout the program provided the leadership needed to retain and continue education well after graduation. I graduated with honors, and because of the institutional support and family support during my year of education, I've already started my next level of education at the University of Texas at Arlington to become a family nurse practitioner with an MSN. And we have multiple students in our program that are in their graduate programs and have actually already completed. And again, this is just a slide to show you our military-friendly school top 10 recognition from the to share with everyone. So now is your opportunity to ask any questions. So can I stop my share? Okay.
Yeah, you can. That'd be great. Okay, we do have a few questions in the chat, but I want to start by saying congratulations on your recognition as a military-friendly university. When I was hearing this, I'm thinking, why isn't every school wanting to do this, you know? So I put a question in about what might be some of the nuances that veterans need that perhaps some schools can't do this. Is there anything that you can think of that, you know, besides the strong academic partnership, but is there any other reason why they wouldn't be able to do this?
Well, I think primarily you have to have administrative support to start these programs. And you have to have buy-in by your faculty and staff, because our veteran students sometimes do have some additional needs than our traditional students. So I think it's important for us to understand that you need to have champions on your campus. You need to have people who 100% support you. And I know we have a few of our faculty have joined us here today. And one that I just want to bring out is Dr. Melinda Mitchell-Jones, who is here with us. And she was actually the associate dean for our non-traditional programs when this program was developed. And she was a champion. And we've had champions all the way from our dean and actually even for the president of the university, who has supported us to be able to develop this program and sustain it. And then secondly, I would say that our staff and our faculty, they have supported it as well. They have completed the Green Zone training, and then they've worked with these students over all of this time. And so they understand when a student has to go to training, we need to support them. So.
Wow, thank you. Well, Betsy, Frank has said, how does the campus ADA office work with the veteran students and even maybe the liaison?
You know, they are amazing. Our veterans are provided information about our ADA office during orientation, and prior to even beginning their program. We have many students who do have accommodations, and our faculty are aware of them, and we support them through those. So our ADA office has been amazing.
And you did mention one of your students who went on to become an advanced nurse practitioner. Do you see many of these students going on into the graduate program?
Absolutely, we do. In that same survey that we shared, and that report has not been published. We've actually submitted a manuscript, but we haven't heard back yet. But in that same survey, we had about a third of our students that responded, which we had a really good response rate. We had a 25% response rate, and a third of those identified that they were going on to graduate programs.
Wow.
So.
And then Joan has a question about how do you find more information on how to set up a program like this at one's college?
Well, we are more than happy to speak with you on an individual basis if you would like to contact us. There is also, and I have it in my references in my slide deck, there is a new book that has been published on veteran-centered healthcare. In fact, I'm just going to twist myself around here and show you the book because it's an incredible. This is the book. It's Veteran-Centered Care. And this is really in education and practice. And this book was just published last year, but it has amazing resources in here. It's basically like a one-stop guide, if you will.
Wow, fantastic.
So
that's fantastic. I also wondered, how was it that you were able to get, and I'm sure it's different for every college and university, how were you able to get the students not to have had the prerequisite bachelor's to be in the accelerated program? Because it doesn't sound like 13 credits would be enough credits to be able to go into an accelerated BSN program.
Well, they're required to have 59 prerequisite hours. Okay. So, but they don't have to have even an associate's degree, and they don't have to have a previous bachelor's degree. And that was part of the way that we set the program up to begin with. So because they are earning their first bachelor's degree.
Right.
But it was set up so that we are training these students in the same courses as our second degree students. And part of that was because of all of the military education that they had prior to coming to our program, as well as the experiences that they've had in the military.
So is that a little bit standardized in terms of the, like a prerequisite check sheet that the liaison would use?
Absolutely.
So that we wouldn't have to start from scratch and say, well, we'll give that 2 credits and this 3 credits.
Oh, no. They have to have education. I mean, they have to have prerequisite courses And there are certain prerequisite courses that they absolutely have to have, but they have to have all of those hours. So no, it's very standardized.
Okay,
It's
well,
not a
that's
guest
really
list.
cleared up because I'm thinking, it's a stretch for us to give more than 9 on my campus, and most of the time we only get by with 6. So I'm thinking, you got
No,
half
and
the degree covered.
and the 13 hours, those are those competency assessment placement courses
Okay.
hours. And again, they have to take a standardized test and demonstrate competency before they receive any credit for those. And what we actually do is we allow them to be enrolled in those courses, and we provide all of the same content to them that our students that are taking, we call it the standard course. And then they still are able to take some benchmark exams along the way to ensure that they're still performing at the benchmark levels that we would want them to be.
Wow. It's amazing. It's just amazing. And to think that there's that many vacancies. Does the VA use travelers? Because that's how many of the hospitals today are, filling their vacancies in terms of nursing.
Right. Well, and I'm sorry, did you ask?
Do they use travelers? Does the VA hospital system use traveler nurses?
I'm not sure if the VA system does allow for traveling nurses. I don't have that answer. Someone else may know. Does anyone else on this
call now? Because I know one of the things you would need for these students is obviously preceptors. And that's the very important part of that partnership, is being able to have, enough nurses and enough managers to be willing to let their staff be preceptors so that these students can, be in a program and your program be supported, because that's what that service provides is that preceptorship, which is, yeah. Okay. Well, I think I don't see any more questions in the chat. If you have a question, please just turn off your mic and join us and bring your question forward.
So I think there are a couple of questions here.
Okay. Did I miss one?
Well, it says, how do you get the information out to your vets about this program?
Yeah, thank you so much. I missed that one.
So that's okay. And that's from Joan. And so one of the things that we do is we do have a Veteran to BSN newsletter that goes out every month. And so that's one of the ways. We also have a newsletter that comes out from our Veterans Resource Center. We have information available on our website for them. But probably the biggest way that our program is promoted are from one veteran to another. And I cannot tell you how many of our successful student veterans have said, hey, this worked for me. And then the next year we have their buddies that are in the program. But we have multiple ways. And again, we do, when we started this program, we started going to the military installations. And by military installations, I mean the bases. And we go to their education fairs. We have been allowed to go to multiple education fairs across the state of Texas, and we've even traveled as far as North Carolina to share information about our program.
Can you tell us how many veterans you have right now enrolled in your program?
We currently have, in this particular track, there are 29.
29.
There are over 350, I think, in the School of Nursing. And we have many of those, again, are in our graduate programs as well. But our first cohort of students, we had 7 students in the first year. And since about the third year, we've been running between 20 and 25. And again, we have 29 right now.
Wow, excellent. Wow. And do they traditionally, do they usually finish, and what would you say, that the 4 to 6, 7 year, how do they fare in terms of graduating? Do they finish?
We've had a very good graduation rate. We have had our second or third year, I think it was the third year, we had the highest attrition rate. And as you know, the last 2 years have been difficult for all programs.
Right.
And we're not unlike any of those other programs. We've had some challenges in that way too, but we still graduated, I think, 25 veterans last year.
That's
from our
fantastic.
program.
That's
So, I
really
mean,
fantastic. Yeah. And then you do give them, as you said, the ability to come back should they be deployed.
oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
In fact, in our first and second year, we had Hurricane Harvey. I think it was in the second year. We had students that were deployed. We worked with them and gave them opportunities to even get some academic credit for some of the time while they were serving, if it met the requirements for that course. And we worked with them. We developed specific programs, for instance, for our community health course to allow them to use what they had done in the military while they were serving to meet the academic requirements for that course. And we did a presentation a few years ago, and we called it Green Zone Training Activated, because it was activated by our staff and faculty who understood what these students were having to do as they had to be deployed.
Yeah.
So, yes.
Did you ever consider some online, courses? I know I've had students in the military and in active duty and at the graduate level. Have you ever considered for the undergraduate using some online courses for them to continue their education when they're deployed?
Our program is delivered online. So all of the didactic information for our program is available online. So they can continue to complete the didactic components. Sometimes, just depending on what they're doing, it's more difficult for them to complete the clinical hours.
Well, sure, but I didn't realize, because I have more experience with the undergraduate program still being face-to-face, but you do have your didactic being online.
Ours is online. Ours is a hybrid program because they do all of their clinicals, obviously face-to-face, and they do come in for some proctored exams and for some simulation experiences and that sort of thing. But all of the didactic information is provided online, 100%. So there was a couple of
other questions. Upon graduation, do you see the majority of your students remaining within the VA health system or transitioning to a civilian healthcare organization?
Well, I think that it just depends on whether or not that is where they want to be. They're like everybody else. They're individuals, and some will want to continue to work for the VA. In fact, we've had students who did go to the VA. But I think that the academic service partnership is that there are so many VA facilities available. And if we can work with these VA facilities, we could provide clinical opportunities that are not just in the hospital. All of these outpatient clinics, that's where we really have an opportunity to be able to expand clinical opportunities and in the hospital facilities too, but primarily with all of these outstanding or separate standing clinicals opportunities, I think.
And then that's where the future of nursing report says we need to get our students to. So it's like, this is like a goal, not only a goal, it's a mandate, if you will, that our students need to get out there in those settings and not be so hospital centric. They do get enough experience in the hospitals when they graduate, but they don't have enough to be able to really feel as comfortable in the outpatient primary care settings. And this is where nursing needs to be, where we can make a significant impact in access to care. So you do have another opportunity now to be able to maybe do that little education, that little fun game that you offer to our members today.
Yes, I would like to share. So give me just 1 second if everyone.
Sure. And
And were there any other questions? Did anyone else?
I don't see any, but again, just turn off your mic if you want to ask Dr. Sykes a question. Please feel free to do that right now.
Dr. Sykes?
Yes, ma'am.
This is Melinda Jones. Hi.
Hi.
What recommendations do you have for schools in terms of how to get on a military base to attend education fairs?
Well, and that's a great question, Dr. Jones. And I would say that the biggest advice I can give anyone who wants to get on a military installation to share information about your school and your program is to contact the education service officer on that facility and make an appointment and go meet them and talk to them, because you cannot go on these military bases without an invitation. You have to have an invitation from that education service officer. And we had to learn this because, as I stated, we were not sharing information about our program on military installations until we started this program for the veterans. But it made sense to me that if you want to get veterans, you need to be where the veterans are or potential veterans are. And they're all on the military bases, or not all. But so that was the biggest thing, is to get to know who your education services officers are, because they are the ones that hold the key to whether or not you get an invitation to an education fair. And once you go to these education fairs, and once they know that you have a program that is legitimate and that is really going to be for the benefit of veterans and to help educate them and give them a professional future. Because I don't know if many of you are aware that when an individual is in the military and they are serving as a medic or a corpsman, when they leave the military, most of them, the skill sets that they have and the knowledge they have, because they don't have any licensure and they don't have any professional affiliations, they become people that are able to be serving as techs in the hospital, but they don't have a professional pathway. And when they go on and achieve a degree in nursing, as we all know, the sky's the limit.
Exactly.
I mean, it is, because in nursing, you can do whatever you want to with it. And there's many opportunities for us. So thank you.
Thank you.
Did that answer your question, Dr. Jones?
Most certainly. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm glad to see that your program is really structured. Many years ago, I lived in Charleston, and we had a really pretty large military base there that they were closing. Well, they were recruiting clinical instructors for an associate degree program, and I went and helped out for a while. But because they closed the base, we had over 50 individuals coming out of the military because of the closure into this associate's program. Now, this was an adventure. I'm just going to call it that, because that's exactly what it was. And but I'm glad to see it far more structured, because this was, sort of one of those events that just happened and all these people decided to become nurses. But I don't know if I'm going to say we as a country prepared these people for that. Because some people should have never entered these programs, and some were stars. I mean, they really were. And we had that blend in the middle. But I'm really glad to see schools beginning to really structure this to make this a much better experience for them. And so really happy to be a part and listen today. So thank you.
Well, thank you. And thank you so much for those comments and for sharing that.
Sure.
And it's been a challenge. I won't say that it's all been easy. And I just want to acknowledge a couple of our other faculty members that have joined us today that have been key in helping this program to be successful. Dr. Patricia Francis Johnson is here with us, and she was one of our individuals who helped develop this program from the very, very beginning. And we also have Rachel Chapman is one of our faculty members that's with us, and she's also a site coordinator who has been very supportive of this program. And so I just really appreciate each of them being a part of this today, but also the support that they've provided all along. So Betsy Frank, it looks like you have your hand up. Do you have a question for us?
Two questions. One, do you have problems with role transition? Because sometimes, in the battlefield, they're doing all kinds of stuff that nurses don't even do. And secondly, how many of your veterans come in with like an LPN? I know the Community College for the Air Force does something like that.
Well, those are two great questions. And I will tell you that when we first started to develop this program, the first thing that our dean said was that he was very concerned about this transition to practice issue, because he had some experience previously with someone working in the hospital facility who did not stay within their scope of practice. But we really have not had that as an issue as much as it was. Part of it was training our faculty. And I will say that the first year of the program, We hired an individual who was a retired lieutenant colonel, and he had several of our students, but the students called him by his first name. And we soon learned that they needed to understand that you're in nursing school. And just like you have a rank in the military, well, right now, your rank is that you're the student and I'm the instructor, or, the faculty member. And once we cleared that up, and so by the second year, I said, okay, no students call their instructors by their first name. They call
Oh,
them.
that wouldn't work here.
Well,
Everybody.
but we did it, and I will tell you, it made a huge difference. A huge difference. And the reason was, it's not because I need to be called Dr. Sykes. It's because as a student, you need to understand that right now you're in the student role. Now, the minute you graduate and you're a nurse, then I'm Debbie and you're, Betsy or whoever. But I think it was important for us to do that because they needed to understand the structure, just like they do the military rank structure. And as far as their skills, we haven't had any issues with them trying to perform skills that were outside of their scope of practice, because we've been very adamant about that with them. Not that we won't ever have, but we haven't had that issue. And I'm sorry, your second question was related to, I'm sorry.
Oh, how many come in with like an LPN from, like community college or the Air Force or something like that?
We have several, probably about half of the ones we have are licensed practical nurses, not all of them, but we've had several, and they're very successful. So
Thank you.
you're welcome. Well, if we have time, then I will show one more. Go ahead. Was there another question?
We do. No, go right ahead.
Okay. So first of all, I'm going to bring up my PowerPoint one more time here and let you all, let me put that down so that you all can play a game, okay? You all ready to play? Okay, so let me do this and play from the current slide. So this is how you're going to join my game, okay? So you're going to go to polev.com. And you can do this on either a phone or you can do it on your computer, either way. And then when you get there, you're going to enter Debbie Sykes 737. And it's S-I-K-E-S. I know it says on here S-Y-K-E-S. So I'm going to close that for a second here. And then I'm going to go ahead and put up my poll. So we're going to play a game. Okay, and before we play, I just want to say this is a competition. And I know none of y'all are competitive, but it is a game. And if you win, then what I would like for you to do is, if you'll just put your email in the chat to me, then I will send you a prize, and I will send you a prize. Okay.
Debbie, it's David. Can you send me will you tell me your name? Not your, I see your name, but your poll name that I need to make sure.
Yes, and let me do this. It's Debbie Sykes 737. That's my PoleEv name.
It's S-Y, right?
S-I-K-E-S.
Okay. Oh, I see Kathleen put it right.
Yes, I'm just going to use this link. Thank you.
Okay, there you go. So
All right, give me 1 second to get there. Thank you.
sure. And I'm just going to go to the next slide. It doesn't do anything. We haven't started yet. Okay. So this is going to be the question that you're going to answer here in just a second when I click on the slide. When the poll opens, you have 7 seconds to answer, or 20 seconds to answer, and timing does matter. That's going to see who's in the lead. Okay. Are we ready? You ready? Here we go. So the question is, which of the following is a successful teaching strategy for student veterans? Expecting them to attend all classes in person, identifying multiple points of contact on campus, recognizing military skills and training, or requiring weekly tutoring services. Let's see if I can go to the next page. And 100% of you answered that correctly. So Everybody's you're all in the lead. Oh, Rachel is in the lead because she answered it the fastest. So again, timing matters. Next question. Which of the following are benefits of expanding student veteran education opportunities? And here comes the poll. And the correct answer is that we meet AAC and workforce recommendations. And we really don't want all future nurses to look just like us. We want to see continued diversity in our nursing workforce. Ooh, Kathleen moved into the lead. Honoring student veterans includes which of the following? And by the way, thank you all so much for playing.
Yeah.
Okay. We honor our student veterans by distinguishing them with their uniform patch, stole, and coin. We do offer options for prior learning credits, but under my presentation, that wasn't considered one of the honors. Okay. And requiring faculty and staff to complete Green Zone training, we don't require that, but we do highly encourage it. We do require it only for our student or for those that are conducting interviews. Ooh, Rachel and Kathleen, you guys, Mary Bittner's moving right up there too. Man. Okay. A diverse nursing workforce provides which benefit? Okay. The correct answer is increased acceptability of our services. Because remember, diversity increases. If I see someone who looks like me and talks like me and understands the way that I think, then I'm going to be more acceptable of those services. Okay. Woo, Rachel. Pat moved right up there too. Which of the following are types of VA facilities where students could complete clinical activities? And all of the above, all of those are VA facilities. Rachel, woo. All right, last one. Which statement is true regarding the VA? The VA, second largest healthcare system in the US, includes 1,100 healthcare facilities, serves 40 million veterans each year, or strives to do what's best for veterans. Okay. It's the first largest instead of the second largest. So awesome. Great job there. Ooh, Joan moved right up there. All right. I'm sorry. I had one more question. Veterans bring which of the following to the nursing profession? All of the above, yay! Everybody got that one right. Okay. So Joan is it Sevi Mayers is our winner. Rachel came in at a close second, and Pat, and I just love it that all of y'all participated. So thank you so much. So I will stop my share. And Joan, I will appreciate if you'll just put your email to me in the chat, and then that way I can send you your prize. But thank you all for participating.
Oops. Okay, so if you'll stop sharing, Dr. Sykes, I will
Escape.
share my screen and
Let me figure out how to get out of there. Excuse me. And where is my share on here? I'm trying to stop sharing. I really am. Here we go to Zoom down here.
Dr. Sykes, you are stopped. Laura, you can.
okay.
Oh, okay. Okay. I thought
I have one more question for Dr. Sykes.
Oh, sure. Go right ahead, Melinda.
Debbie, would you share a little bit about your background?
Oh,
Come on.
okay.
Tell
Well,
them where you celebrated your 18th birthday.
well, I celebrated my 18th birthday in Marine Corps boot camp. So I did serve in the Marine Corps. My husband was also a Marine. I come from a big family of military service members. I was born on a military base in South Carolina. My dad was serving in the Air Force at the time when I was born. I come from a big family. There are 7 children in my family. I am a first generation college student. And I am just very, very grateful for all the opportunities that I've had. And I just really appreciate all the support that I've had. And Dr. Jones has been an incredible mentor and friend to me. But most of all, I'm just very grateful for the opportunity to serve veterans and to be a part of this program. So thank you.
Well, thank you so much. So again, Dr. Sykes, this was just amazing. It really was. And the work that you are all doing, it was just moving. It was just moving to see the passion, to feel the passion, and to learn about what you're doing. And as I said, I just can't imagine that there wouldn't be so many more schools now, once they know about this, that might be interested in doing something like this. And it sounds like there's still a need. The work's not done, right?
No, it's not.
It's not.
There are plenty of veterans out there to go around.
Okay.
There's plenty of veterans who need a place to go to school, who need an opportunity. And I will just say to everyone on this meeting, going to school changed my life, literally. And it will change their lives too. And so we should never stop giving them that opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you for this wonderful presentation. So for all of you that are here in this session, I just want to remind you that we do have another webinar next month in May, on May 25th. We're going to hear about the reflections from the middle, which is the United States nurse managers' experience during COVID-19. A lot of studies and a lot of word has come out about the experience of the nurse at the point of care, which is extremely important. But there were a lot of managers that were also not only at the point of care, but also had unique experiences that they would like to share, and listening to their story is going to be extremely important. And last but not least, I would like to also, if I can get my slide to move, I tell you, I want to remind everybody of our conference coming up. And it's going to be at Case Western University. It will be November 3rd through the 5th. We are looking so forward to having an in-person conference after 2 years of being Zoomed out and Zoomed online. And I think this event will be just really something that you will enjoy. So hopefully you'll come November 3rd through the 5th to Cleveland, Ohio, for our conference, which will be on leadership science and nursing, creating new solutions for the new challenges that we're facing. And again, thank you everybody for your participation today. And Dr. Sykes, thank you again for a fabulous conference.
Thank you, everyone. And thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.